claimed to be COVID-19 free for the longest time, even when the entire world was reeling under the coronavirus pandemic, especially its neighboring country, China. Now, North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has always maintained that the highly contagious virus has not reached his land. But now, Kaesong, a border city to South Korea, has completely shut down. There is an official lockdown in the city after discovering what they call the country's first suspected case of the novel coronavirus. Kim Jong Un has reportedly held an emergency meeting this week and issued the highest level of emergency system to contain the virus. The state media said that the suspected COVID-19 positive person returned to North Korea after illegally crossing the demarcation line. If confirmed, it would be the first officially recorded COVID-19 case in North Korea. It is important to understand that the medical infrastructure in the country is extremely poor. Even though there is very little we know about North Korea, experts suggest that it is inadequate for dealing with any epidemic. And so for more details, our correspondent Bruce Harrison joined us earlier from Seoul. Let's listen into his detailed inputs.
It's incredibly hard to verify both these media reports from North Korean state media out of Pyongyang, as well as the numbers they are talking about when it comes to their handling of the coronavirus pandemic. What we know so far is simply the reports coming out of Pyongyang. We're waiting for more clarity from the South Korean government. They have commented on this case. They've suggested that it's quite possible someone was able to cross the border, the military demarcation line, and then into the border city of Kaesong. They said they're looking into several individuals that may be that person, but they haven't confirmed this took place yet. And they haven't said anything about whether or not this individual could have been positive for COVID-19. So we're still waiting for some answers there. It's just simply hard to say. And like you mentioned, can we trust the numbers coming out of North Korea? It's hard to say. They took early steps to try and prevent the country from experiencing an outbreak of COVID-19. They closed the borders, seaports quite quickly, but a lot of independent experts as well as U.S. and Japanese officials have spoken publicly and said it's highly unlikely North Korea has prevented COVID-19 up until this point, and this would not be the first case, in fact, in that country. Most people that study North Korea and are familiar with the health system there will tell you no, that it's not capable of handling a massive outbreak. And that's why Kim Jong Un appears to be reacting the way he is with this maximum lockdown pressure. They simply don't have the infrastructure that we have here in South Korea to deal with the pandemic. They don't even come close to being able to match that kind of technology, especially when it comes to tracking and tracing and then eventually isolating people to make sure the virus doesn't spread. So the impact would be devastating if North Korea does have a widespread outbreak of COVID-19.